Hello, YouTube world. My name is Anthony Long. Welcome back to the Bluegrass Picker channel. You came back. Why? Why would you? Sure glad you did. Man, Metallica's hard. Damn, I don't even know why I tried some of these. Well, hey, Tracy. It's good to see you. I'm amped up. I did a 5K this morning, so I'm juiced. That's a hard one. Little STP. Yeah, 30 minutes of walk is all we really need, honestly. Almost puking, wanting to puke on my day off shouldn't be fun, but it's crazy how you run hard, do something hard in the morning, man. It makes you feel good the rest of the day. Yeah, I love this time of year. It's perfect weather. God, I love it. My birthday, October is the best freaking month. Love it. My birthday, you got football, you got baseball ending up. Back when I liked the NBA was going. Just perfect weather. This is the time of year, though, I kind of like to live in Texas. My buddy wants me to move to Dallas. His brother's like super loaded, lives in Dallas, and I'd go down there and work for him, and that'd be something to do with, working for him. And I don't know. I'm thinking about it like a year and a half, because it'd be like having fall and spring extended because of living in Texas. Let's see. Hey, Craig. Ned Ryerson. Groundhog Day is one of my favorite movies. What up, Tom Cruise? I'm getting ready to list a bunch of your albums. I'm gonna go full out. Most of the year I'm always listing my baseball cards and football cards, but this time of year I'm gonna start putting up stuff that people are gonna buy for actual presents and records. They're collectibles, but people will buy those for themselves as their own Christmas presents, and because I think everybody does that. You go out shopping for Christmas, but you end up buying a few things for yourself. I would say 10% of what I buy every year at Christmas is for me. I'm sure if I do that and I don't spend much money, I'm sure everybody else does that some. Coffee. What up, Mo? I'm excited my mowing season's ending. I'm just gonna be doing leaves and stuff here for the next little bit, so I'll be able to jump in some lives in the mornings again. And I feel time the way to go. And I feel that I can't sing too well, but hey. Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't really buy much most of the year, but when I go out shopping, I always see good things for myself. I'm gonna start. Right on. Thanks, Tom. Um, yeah, I'm gonna start painting again, and that's my new thing this year on my off time. So I'm kind of excited about that. I love painting, and um, I'm just gonna be throwing oil paint everywhere. I'm excited. Yeah, I would love to see STP live. uh, what was I forget Smoke on the Water. It's been so long. First thing I think that's the first song I ever learned. Silent City. Thanks for everybody to swinging on by. I was just bored. I should be listing things, but I decided I'm gonna go live. I don't procrastinate. I just do other things that makes me procrastinate. I guess that's still. I'm the mountain I turn around. I used to know some Chris Stapleton, but it's all in a weird tuning, so it's kind of hard to do. Yeah, Little Queensryche. That was the first song I ever learned on the guitar. My buddy's like, the first song you want to learn is Queensryche, St. Louis City. He goes, I can barely play it. I'm like, well, it's only one. I even told him, like, that's the only song I actually want to learn. It's like the only song. I'm like, yeah. And I learned it and I got it down. And I was like, what's the rest? He goes, I don't know the rest. I'm like, crap. So then I started playing guitar. Been a while. Hey, what's up, Gina? Kevin Arnold. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love that show, Wonder Years. I always wanted to, I wonder why I was always attracted to American Asian women. One of my favorite songs of all time. Sergeant Spork, the guy with the mustache. Little number 41 by Dave Matthews Band. Of course, I can't play it like Dave Matthews because he's a freaking genius. Hey, hey, I'm going to drive. Alice in Chains. The sun refused to shine, I would still be loving you. Mountains crumble to the sea, baby. There would still be you and me. Love, thank you. Hey, lady, you got the love I need. Woo! Love Led Zeppelin. It was known as a kind of a sloppy band live, but they were so great in the recording studio. Yeah, one of the best. I'm sure you were talking about "Thank You." Me and you love that song. I love that song. So underrated. I'm kind of glad. Little. I sing a lot on my mower, but the mower drowns me out pretty good. Me and Harry aren't doing a live for a while. He wanted to do a horror movie thing for Halloween, and I was like, "Yeah, you need to get someone that." I'm not huge into horror movies. I mean, I don't mind them. Uh, Better than most romantic comedies. That shit's crap. But um, so he's gonna have someone else on. I'm not sure who it is. So we probably won't be going live for a while, but it's all good. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it's not. When they stop doing drugs, they aren't they aren't as good, honestly. But it's kind of crazy to think about. I was watching Pearl Jam documentary. I watched this guy named Professor Rock. He's really good on YouTube. He's talking about Pearl Jam. I knew a little of the backstory. You know, Mother Love Bone, who this, one of my favorite albums of all time is the single soundtrack. Holy crap! The single soundtrack is freaking phenomenal. I mean, up and down the line. Anyway, Chloe Dancer by Mother Love Bone. It's got to be one of the top 10 best rock songs of all time to me. And it's funny because he said the same thing. And the lead singer, I think it's Alex Andrew Wood. He died in like 1990, overdose heroin. If he wouldn't have died, holy crap! I mean, he he was awesome. But they were talking about when they disbanded and they were trying to figure out um, how to go on, and a guy they gave him Eddie Vedder's name, and he went home. They had already musically done Alive, Once, Black, and two more songs, and they just didn't have the words for it. He went home and couldn't he play? He was worked in a warehouse at a petroleum place in San Diego. He was a surfer, Eddie Vedder, and he listened to the demo, just the music, no words to it, and he said he couldn't sleep that night, and he went home and just stayed up and just all the lyrics from those 5 songs he busted out that night. And I've heard that so many times. Now, sleep deprivation is, as close as you're going to get to drugs to make you come out with some good stuff. And he put all those lyrics in, and I never really listened to the words alive. I just yelled them, and wow, that that's a crazy story. I've never. It's weird. Yeah, I'm just I like comedies when it comes to movies. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it'd still be cool to see Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. Hey, someone else agrees with me. Yeah, freaking Singles is just maybe it's because we're both the same age. I don't know. That's a good movie too. It was better than Reality Bites. Reality Bites was okay, but I mean, Singles is more true. How. Yes, good point. Frank Zappa is one of the most underrated guitarists of all time, too. Uh, he's freaking awesome. Um, yeah, he never did. Ted Nugent never did drugs either. But I don't know about Zappa, but Ted Nugent was very addicted to the opposite sex. So in a way, his drug was chasing women. So I mean, usually everybody has something that they're doing, which I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, that's true. Temple of the Dog was pretty cool when they did that in like '92. Yeah, Dodgeball, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be kind of crappy, but I just don't. It's not that. It doesn't really get me moving. Being scared doesn't. I don't know. It's just me. Yep. Bunch of old people here. Yeah, but I mean, in the future they'll come back and say singles. That's one of the few things. I always thought it'd be cool to do the soundtracks for movies. Um, I even, one of those bands that a lot of people don't like that I really liked, and honestly, they're hard to play on the guitar, is Goo Goo Dolls. And that City of Angels soundtrack is freaking amazing. Um, the Goo Goo Dolls, I mean, that song like perfectly does that movie. And I don't even like what's his nuts, Nicolas Cage. He's like the worst actor ever. He just walks into good roles, but it's a good. I like that movie. I like the storyline. It's pretty cool. That's true. He is nuts. Like he's just his eyes look like freaking what's his nuts? Oh, the guy that killed everybody. Oh crap. Um, Charles Manson. He's got those Charles Manson eyes. I had when I first started Cheddar's, there was a dishwasher that just got out of the joint, and he had this huge beard. Back whenever beards, it's funny. Back in '90, it had been about '99. It had been about 2000. I shaved my head. It was '99 or 2000 anyway. Back then, if you had a head shaved, you were either a um, white supremacist, or you were a neo-Nazi, or you were in a gang, or you were of a different color. White guys just didn't do it. It was like me and Bruce Willis were the only white guys that had it, I think. And you wouldn't believe how people looked at me when I was at Cheddar's. They'd be talking, and then I come up to the table, "Hey, how's it going today? Can I get you all something to drink?" And they just look at me, trying to figure me out. Trying to everybody tries to label you, put you in a little box of sorts, and I'm just like, I don't kill people. I don't know. I'm not racist. It was weird. Um, but there was this dishwasher, and he had this huge beard back when beards weren't cool. And his name was Charlie, and he looked just like Charlie Manson. Scared to crap. He was just about as nuts. He would throw dishes, throw pans across the room, and he's crazy. I remember I told him one time what someone else was making, um, washing dishes, and it was more than what he made, and he'd been there for years. I was like, oops. The manager's like, why did you tell him that? I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't know you were screwing him. Crap. Uh, I have I have some I have some old VHS of like Evil Dead and some of that kind of stuff. I put it up in my booth, thought it would sell. I didn't want to mess with it on eBay. Some things I just don't want to mess with on eBay, so I just put it in my booth. I probably could make more money. Nicolas Cage is a Coppola, so you probably didn't know. What's a Coppola? Is like a his lineage? I just Nicolas Cage is such a bad actor, but I like The Rock, freaking awesome movie. Is that the name of it? He's been in some great movies. It's just I don't know. It's like Keanu Reeves. I don't. I've never watched the new stuff that John whatever it is. I heard that's really good. I've never seen it, but like he was great in The Matrix. But before that, it was just like I did like Point Break. That was one of my favorite movies as a kid. Me and my buddy watched that all the time. uh, and that was one of those movies where you could tell like Patrick Swayze was such a freaking good actor. He could play any role. It's like, holy crap. He plays Ghost and he plays, the dancer on Patrick Swayze was unbelievable. He was such a good actor in that movie, Point Break. I mean, if they based it after someone, he played it better than the person they based it after. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. He was one of those guys that's like, dude, give up on your hair. It looks terrible. I mean, terrible. Just shave that shit. I got to the point I was just they're not going to give me half price on my hair and I only get half of it cut. I'm done. Thanks. Yeah, I bet that's true. Hollywood's so effed up, in my opinion. Nicolas Cage was good in Kick Ass. I don't think I've seen that. Raising Arizona, I think he was pretty good in that, but I haven't seen it in so long. Um, yeah. Wicker Man, I've never even heard of that. Oh, you put Raising Arizona, yeah. Yeah, that's why it's like maybe that's why. It's just like he's just himself every time. So it doesn't seem like he's changing to the role. It's like they're making the role for him or something. Strange. Peggy Sue Got Married. I think that was a good movie. I haven't seen that one in a long time. Nearly Superman? Ugh. Yeah, I can't disagree with that statement. It's a beautiful day here. 60 degrees, sunny. I need to take the dogs out here in a minute. I ran a 5K, so I've got my exercise for the day, but let them go smell other dogs pee. That's what they love doing. Let them swim a little bit, wear them out so they'll sleep. It was a cool 5K because it was for Rescue One, which is a where I got both my dogs, rescue dogs, and so it raises a lot of money for them. And they have a they have a thing where they let you run with your dogs, and man, I bet there was 50 people that ran with their dogs, and I've never understood why they don't. I mean, there's probably 100 runners and 50 of them with dogs, and they let us all go at the same time, and the dogs were freaking going, the dogs, and some people had long leashes on them. And one of them, right at the very beginning, hit the back of my foot and went across my foot, and it hit the back of my leg. I almost went face planted. And I'm like, what? The guy didn't even say sorry or anything. He just went on. I'm like, but it was cool to see all these different dogs that I mean, a lot of great dogs. I couldn't take Bo. Bo's aggressive with other male dogs. He'll bark at everybody. But Cora would have been. She would have done good. She runs fast. She freaking pulls me around. Like she can run it faster than I can. But it is so good to do exercise in the morning. You feel great the rest of the day. That's one thing I have a problem with. I usually do my exercise later in the day. You don't get that same energy when you waste it at the end of the day, but it's hard to get out. It's hard enough just to do exercise, but get up early and do it is even tougher. Thanks for swinging by, Sergeant Spork. That's true. Like, oh, hey, I got to pee right here because someone else peed right here. I've got to mix it. I want them to smell it whenever they come back. The funny thing is, whenever they pee and then they come back and they smell their own pee, I'm like, dude, you just peed there. But sometimes when we're running, I swear it's like he's peeing so he can come back. He knows where to come back through or something. Sometimes it makes me wonder. I saw a documentary once on bears. It was really interesting. They were talking about how bears can smell so good. Their olfactory in their brain is so big, and that they can't. It's not only they smell the smells and what was there, they smell every smell for a long time. So they actually can smell time because their sense of smell is so strong. And like it's like you smelling a skunk. Um, they can smell it. It's so strong that they know exactly when you were there, not just what was there. I was like, wow, makes sense. People are scared of sharks. I'm scared of freaking bears. Bears can run 35 mile an hour, climb trees, and swim. What can't they do? You know. You like to face off? Yeah, I think I've seen that once. I forget. Beating up Nicolas Cage on my channel. Well, thanks, Kenneth. I always tell people to push the thumbs down. I just don't care, but I appreciate it. This is kind of just always just like family chat with people. There's bears around here. They've moved in from Arkansas, so there's a reason to conceal and carry. It's not for people. It's for freaking bears. I do not want to meet a bear. Oh God, I've had dreams about that shit. Freaking yeah. How's it going, Zagon? Any good auctions going on? I like watching the auctions. There's only a few of them I watch. I've been in some where it's like you can tell there's stuff going on that shill bidding crap, you know. Um, yeah. Anyway, but it's better than Sometimes when you go garage sailing, this is something I've learned over the last 3 years. You go to garage sales, get out, you're like super excited. You see that one sale that has like everything you want. You get there, not much there, and what's there is so expensive, and you might buy one or two things. You go to the next one, you go to three or four, you buy two things. It's like I'm spending a lot of time and making like $15, and I just spent 10 in gas. Like, every once in a while you find some great deals, but I don't find as many as I used to. And I mean, it's just this area, of course, but I'd rather pinpoint what I like to sell instead of like going to garage sales, buying something that I'm just buying because I'm there at the garage sale, like it's Goodwill or something, and then trying to sell something that I don't know much about. And I kind of stop. I mean, I hit them every once in a while, but only if it's got like, hey, I got vinyl albums and music, DVD, CDs, and stuff like that I know I can flip pretty quick and know that sells. But I just, after you spend 4 hours on a Saturday morning driving around, and I could have listed, because I got so many things to list already, I could have listed 10 things. Instead, I was out spending more money on stuff that might take a year to sell. and it's good to have have my boost, because garage sales, I can buy some stuff for $1 and sell it for $5 and not feel too bad about it in my boost. Just make some of the rent. But even then, I've got enough stuff that there's no room in my boost because I have a lot of shit. Thanks, Gina. Thanks for swinging by. I appreciate you. Yeah, bobcats are freaking scary because they're always in the low limbs of trees and you never see them till you're right above them. And then you hear that. We got some around here too. They'll straight fuck you up. I'd love to go to Tahoe so bad. That looks so beautiful, Lake Tahoe. That's one of the places I've always wanted to go. One day. Mo, are you still doing the lives in the morning? Um, Listing lives? I'll be able to join you on some uh, coming up in like late November through February. I'll be bored out of my mind. I've got enough stuff. I've bought enough stuff through the last 5 months to list for 20 items a day for months. So I'll be good to go there. I've been thinking about shutting down one of my booths just because it's just hard to take care of sometimes. But the albums sell pretty good there. So I'm thinking what I think I'm going to do is just deck it all out into selling vinyl albums and anything music media, and then just specialize in it instead of having antiques. So I'll sell my antiques on eBay, and I think I'm going to take a lot of stuff out and just revamp it, see how it goes. And after Christmas, if it doesn't pick up a little bit, because I was doing good with it, but it's kind of the last like 3 months have been just barely making my rent. But the sports cards do good. So in my glass cages, I'm going to keep those because people buy sports cards and Pokemon, and I've even sold Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic, just lotting them up in big stacks, selling them for $15. I've got so many. Got them so cheap. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I hear you. It's not easy to. It's not easy. I think if I was you guys, I would make sure I just had a bunch of stuff pictured up and ready to go. But it's hard to not talk while you're doing it. It's hard to actually list. It's like I used to watch Joey Bada Bing and what's his name? The other guy. Gosh, what's his name? Anyway, he's a good reseller. But Joey, he just wants to be a YouTuber, which is fine, to each their own. But he never got anything done. I couldn't watch it. It was I'm sure people can't watch me either. Yeah, I have too. Yeah, I saw something recently and I was like, excuse me, kind of deal. And I really like Donna Bodolino and T. They do a good job. Of course, who's Tom Cruise and Gary, freaking awesome. Um, Luis, the Cali reseller, Luis, he does good. He does a good auction. He's got some good items. He started off kind of slow, but now he has a lot better items to sell. But the people that sell one-off items, I don't know. You got resellers on there and buying one-off items, just one thing at a time. Seems like a waste. How's it going, Willow? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to keep it through Christmas to see if it picks up. But because I remember when I bartended, I always took September off when I go to Europe in September, and because it was a slow. I kept tracking my tips all year long, every year, and found out real quick that September is the worst month. What I think it really was people are trying to. They're being in school. That after vacation, spend a bunch of money. Their kids are in school. They're trying to do everything right, and they're saving a little money. And then once October hits and Halloween hits, it's all on for Christmas. I'm hoping that's how it's going to go this year. I've got 2,000 listings, 2,100 on eBay, and it's starting to pick up again. I had about a month where it's just nothing too. So I think it's just the way it works, It's not making much on eBay or my booze. Hey, what's up, Joe? Billy Picker. Hey, they had an auction the other day. It was a pretty good auction. Joe put up some good stuff, which is hard because you just can't sell for as much as you would on eBay. I mean, that's why a lot of people, when you go to some of these auctions, it's like obvious it's the stuff that wasn't selling on eBay. They pull it off eBay and like try to get you to buy it, and with the shipping and everything. But at least you're not paying the 10%, 13% to eBay. Well, I usually try to speak my mind, and I try to not piss people off when I know it's going to affect them. But there was one day where Joey was on live with Harry Tornado and gosh, what is his name? the other kid, he's good. He's from Florida. He's a good reseller. And Harry Tornado was like, you need to go full time, Joey, and all stuff. I'm like, go full time. He's like 24 years old. He's got a good job as a mailman. I mean, you can do most of this stuff on the side, and we all could tell he's not like, he wants to be a YouTuber, not like a full-time reseller. So that's not a good, if you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it. And all I could think about was like, I'm like, dude, are you sure you want to do that? And then he just went like this, like, and Harry Tornado was like, oh, he can make, you know, and I'm like, well, you know, his YouTube channel is not huge right now. I mean, he's probably making a little money, but not a lot, you know. I'm like, I'm sure all it's going to be is his wife going to be like, what are you doing? Where's the money coming in? She's going to be working all the time. I mean, I hope it works, but man, when you're 24, there's plenty of time, you know. I don't know. It is what it is. I always hope the best for him because I like Joey. He's a nice guy. Well, I hate to hear that. Sandy, thanks for watching most of my videos. I appreciate you. Drew, yes. I like Drew. He's a good kid. Ooh. That's why. Yeah, I like doing this just to do it. I mean, it'd be nice to make some money from it, but how sustainable is it, you know? And I don't want to get in the point where you're burned out, like, you know, how Lonnie and John were like, I don't like doing the what sold videos. They stopped doing it because people don't watch them as much as they watch the what you find in garage sales and stuff. And I'm kind of glad I don't make money off it in a way, because then you're kind of stuck to it too, you know. I don't know. It is what it is. I just like kind of giving tips of what works for me. What I actually think of it is like I'm saying what I wish I would have known. I wish someone would have told me when I was first doing eBay, you know? And so that's why I kind of do what I do. And I think it's just kind of fun to make videos. I've always kind of, I grew up with the MTV and, movies. And so you're just I kind of like doing it. And then I like playing the guitar and stuff. So just kind of fits me, like how I like to do things. It's easy to burn out on any of it, anything. It's really easy. But that's what, I don't know. That's why I do a couple videos a week, that's why I like watching Harry. It's just fun, and he does it because he likes it. I mean, it'd be nice if Google gives me a ton of money for doing it, but I'm not going to try to go out like Johnny, Cajun Reseller, he does like 2 lives a day a lot of times, and has people come in and does a live every morning to grow your channels on his channel. If people don't want to watch me, they're not going to, it doesn't do you any good to have people watch you that subscribe and don't watch you. So, we've all learned that from Pusa Studios. All it's going to do is actually inhibit you. So like I learned a year or so ago, I'm like, people want to watch me, they can. If they don't, screw it. I don't care. I'd rather than not. That's why I make fun of people when they come back. You came back? Why? Tell people to push the thumbs down button because I think it's funny. I don't know. I don't care. Because every once in a while I have a video and so there would be like 2 thumbs down. And you know what it is every time. It's not rocket science. It's people that watch your channel that are mad that you're doing it and they haven't done it yet. They're only watching my channel because they want to put out YouTube videos, but they don't do it. And so they're pushing the thumbs down to hope I will quit to make themselves feel better about never starting. I know what it is. I'm not stupid. And so I think it's funny when I'm like, push the thumbs down button. It just motivates me anyway. Like, I think it's hilarious that people are that pathetic. they would subscribe and watch my channel and push a thumbs down because there's nothing to thumbs down about. I mean, come on, it's hilarious though. It's hilarious how sad people are. Sorry, it's kind of flying on me. Reprise, reselling. Actually, money follows passion. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Passion can also, you can burn out on passion too. And that's why you got to be careful with anything. I mean, I'm passionate about guitar and mandolin, but sometimes you just get to that point, you're just like, and you have to reconnect with it. It's just like everything. Thanks for joining. Reprise Reselling. I don't think I know that name unless you've changed it. I agree, but you got to be with eBay. If you're doing eBay, you got to, if you're serious about it, you got to put out 5 listings every day. You really got to do that, and it depends on where you're selling and what you're selling and different things. But and another thing I've learned is you shouldn't really listen to the YouTubers. they don't, and it's not because they're trying to deceive people. They don't recognize that everybody's selling something different. Collectibles don't sell the same as T-shirts. It's not the same game. And so to tell other people you shouldn't do that, it's dumb. Whenever you don't even know what they're selling. So there's some things like be careful with who you're listening to. Like I love Daily Refinement. Chris, he's really good, but he sells mainly clothes. And then when he tells people they're dumb to relist and to end listings and relist, that it's stupid. I'm like, it's not stupid. It works. I get lots of sales off the ending it and relisting it because when it comes to collectibles, people push newly listed trying to catch good deals, and they may never, in eBay buries crap, and so they may never have seen it, and now it's there. Now it probably doesn't work with clothes, and I agree with him on one thing, that if it was a better price, it would have sold already, which is probably true. But you could, and he's like, I don't want to take 5 minutes to relist something when I could have listed 2 things. It didn't take 5. He doesn't realize you can end 50 listings and relist them, and it takes you about 30 seconds, But you got to be careful because when you end listings, relist, and if you're not careful, you could double list some things. But I mean, everything's a little bit different. I'm not going to tell someone that's doing clothes, and tell them how collectibles work. But I don't know. It is what it is, and I just gotta be careful of like taking everybody. I remember I was doing good with eBay, and then I started trying to sell everything Commonwealth Picker sells, and some other people, which he does it great, but he's been selling that same stuff for years. He knows it better, and I'm trying to sell, DVD, VCR combos and things like that. It's not fun. And if it's not fun to sell for you, you're not going to want to list those things. And so that's what I've realized over time. It's like, you got to sell what you like to sell, what you're interested in yourself. So you already have like a background in that thing. And then it's just easier if you have a little niche, and then spread out a little bit here and there. You go to a garage sale, you see, some awesome hats that are trucker hats that, it's a deal, and you can get 15, 20 bucks for them, and someone's selling them for $1 a piece. There you go. But otherwise, you kind of need to stick to your thing, I think. Been working on the band. Oh, right on. I didn't know you. What do you play? What instrument do you play? What up, Glock? Glock goes to the same group, the same live I go to. This is something I was telling my buddy the other day, because me and my best friend, we have a rapport because we've been friends since 6th grade. And people can see that. And I was telling him, I'm like, we could talk about anything and people would watch because they see the energy back and forth. They see us bantering in between and whatever. We wouldn't even have to talk about reselling. And we go, and me and Glock, is it Tim? I think we go to Authentic in the Beard. Tim, over the years, he has another channel called Authentic in the Beard, and they talk about NFL. They talk about betting on Sundays and fantasy football, and they know their if you know Tim, he loves his stats, and he's like me with stats. I love stats, and we go in there because it's fun. I'm a Chiefs fan, and they never really talk about the Chiefs. They talk about the NFC East. I don't care. I don't know if it would matter what they were talking about because it's just fun. And it's a perfect example of like, we watch when we're entertained too, it has to be, it can't just be information, because that people leave after a while. It's kind of like Nick Nimmin live on Saturdays. Once you kind of learn how to do YouTube, what are you going to watch for? You know what I mean? He kind of realizes there's only so much you can tell people how to do YouTube when everybody's kind of got that figured out. And so it's like, I just don't even watch him anymore. I freaking hate the thumbnails when people have their mouth open. Oh my God. That's the only thing I would say about that Joey and Drew. Drew needs to take that freaking profile down. He's like, I hate it. Especially dudes doing that. It's so weird. I don't care if they make the algorithm, people click on them more. I don't care. It's just, they'll never do that. You lurk. What's your name then? Yeah, exactly, Mo. They're too busy reselling, and that's one thing I like about David Feynman and tech and sports. They treat it like a real business. They list from 1 to 4. They actually have people take pictures and stuff for them, which would be a good idea. But still, I don't want to scale up that. I don't really want to ship off 100 things every day. If I'm shipping off 100 things, I better be getting $40 to $60 for all of it. If I'm shipping off 100 things and it's $10 items, oh my God, that would not be fun. I'd spend half the day shipping. No, I mean, it'd be $1,000 a day, but still, like, that doesn't sound like fun. I don't know. Guitar, right on. Do you guys have your own songs, or are you doing like cover stuff? And yeah, Tim has his own. Sorry, and Authentic in the Beard, he has his own noise whenever he comes in, and it goes. Those guys are good, and I don't know if anybody else watches them, but there's the group the guys they kind of follow after and who they watched and why they do theirs now. His name's Entertainer and Bad Dog. They're 10 times better than them. And those guys get, I've seen him have 3,000 people in their live before, and they're getting super stickers and stuff constantly. I'm like, dude, you guys just got to keep going because it's going to blow up. Authentic he's from Haiti, was his parents, and he does samples. He does music and basically laying down tracks for people so they can buy them and use them for rap songs. It is so good. So he uses his own rap stuff in the background while they're going, and then Tim's got the production perfect. I mean, it's freaking awesome. They got commercials. It is so well produced that I keep telling them, like, you guys need to go live and do play-by-play. Please. I'm like, you're so much better than these freaking announcers on TV. They're awful. And then Entertainer and Bad Dog, I mean, I kind of like them because they've been doing it a long time, but they blow them out of the water. And those guys are making a ton of money, and Authentic in the Beard aren't, but they're not trying to, like, they want to keep it, Authentic was, hey fam, he likes the small niche, but they're going to blow up, like it or not. You know, I didn't even know that. That's funny. Yeah, they're just fun. I mean, like I said, I'm a Chiefs fan, and all they really talk about is NFC East. I mean, they'll gloss over it on the parlay just to throw out numbers on what they would bet, but they go in depth about NFC East. I don't give a shit about NFC East, but I watch because they're freaking fun and they're interesting. Yeah, totally, Tracy. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got some great points. Um, but he'll talk to you like you need to put out 100 listings. You know, you need to put out a lot of listings. Well, he's got a photographer, someone obviously cleaning them and different things. He's got people working for him. So other people don't have those options. So it's kind of like he's put himself in another area where other people can't really relate. So, but I like Chris because I mean, there's some things I like about him. But like I said, it's he's so scaled up and he's doing just clothes, which I mean, I get that. That makes I mean, selling sports cards like I do, I like it. I like it, but you know, no one needs sports cards, so they're not going to sell. But I'm specialized, so there's not a lot of people doing what I'm doing. So I usually sell mine, you know, better than other people. But when you're selling clothes, you're selling something that a lot of people there's so much clothes on eBay, and so you have to have a perfect price. And I don't know, I just don't like researching and comping everything to the exact T of exactly how much I want to sell it for and this and that. I think that takes more time, and I don't know if I'd enjoy doing it if I don't know. Each their own. Sorry, blowing up here. It's me and my nephew's birthday this week, so my family's chat is going nuts. That's awesome, Zygon. I love to hear that. Man, you need to make sure we all know where to find your music. People like me would love to hear it. John Hartford. I don't think so. I don't know who he is. See a Glock. John Hartford. I don't. That name doesn't ring a bell. What does he sing? Is he what era? I have I have 78s from back in the 30s, so I have so much stuff. I mean, I might have them. I have tons of 45s too. Get on that. John Hartford. What's he sing? What genre? Mookie. What up, Mookie Pookie? Um, anybody watch Harry's video today? I always watch Harry's videos. You can tell he's like, ugh, crap. It's the end of yard sale season. That's where he gets most of his pre. That's all of his pre-made videos, I guess, except for the cleanouts. He's probably kind of bummed um, that there's no more good yard sales, and he kind of you could tell it was one of those days where he bought some stuff just to have some stuff to talk about, and that'll get you in a bad place where you have a death pile. And I think that's what people don't realize about death piles. They buy stuff they don't really, you know how to sell or don't really want to or don't want to ship it when they finally do get a chance. Oh, bluegrass, right on. I'll have to check him out for sure. Then I've gotten, I've got, I've got about I don't know 100 songs I know, bluegrass songs. I love some bluegrass. I love the mandolin. That's really cool, Zygon. One day for me too. That's a great accomplishment. I'm doing good, Mookie. Nothing else to do today, so I played a little guitar early and chit chat with some YouTube fam. I remember that song. Yeah, I wish he would do that. Um, I think we all kind of know, like he drives to Pennsylvania. He drives everywhere. I'm sure, since it's part time, it's not that big a deal. But if you're doing this full time and you're driving 100 miles to make $50, it ain't worth your time. Um, but he likes the thrill of yard selling, which I do too, but only if I have the time to kind of waste on it, honestly. I know Sam Bush. I'm gosh. I like Chris Stilley. Um, I mean, I mean, I don't know. There's a few that. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank, but Sam Bush is a great one. I like guitar and mandolin. I would love to see Tommy show the auction house and how they do it and things. We don't have that stuff around here. He's lucky. And my Goodwill's below. I mean, they're terrible. Last time I went, there was like a quarter of what used to be in there. Like it was just like almost empty. And what was there was even worse than the worst stuff they used to have. So I don't like the only thing to get there is plush. And it's like Chris Cajun reseller. I like him. He's a nice guy. And Harry calls him the plush king. Like used plush. I just think of it like it's like selling pillows that just slobber all over them or something, like slobber pillows. And I don't really want to touch them. I just don't. I usually put them right in my booth. And yeah, Chris Dilley is awesome. My mandolin teachers met him at Red Rocks. My mandolin teacher is good. I'm lucky. I'm really lucky. Jeremy Chapman. It was kind of cool the other day. I learned this one song. He's like, "Wow, you got that down pretty good." He didn't expect me to know it after a week. He goes, "Honestly, that's probably the most hardest technical song that I have to teach." I'm like, that's a good feeling that I kind of can do the hardest one that he has. I know one Chris Stilley song, that the one that he actually won. He won an award for back when he was a kid. That's what got him started. I mean, well known before he went on to Nickel Creek. And it's really cool. It sounds like a waterfall. It's really cool. David Grossman, yeah. That's not who I'm thinking of. Bill Monroe, of course, is the godfather, the goat. But there was one other dude in between there. Yeah, I would love to go up there and go to that auction with him. My uncle lives in Maryland. It'd be fun. We don't have the bins here. We just have Goodwill retail stores. So it's and anymore you could tell they must take all the good stuff and sell it online because there's nothing left. And if they'll put out like a guitar for $100, but it'll have broken strings. It'd be something that wasn't even brand new. It wouldn't be $100, and they're trying to sell for $100. I'm like, what are you doing? It's going to cost $20 to put new strings on it. And I feel like that if that sells, you're screwing people over anymore. A lot of stuff at Goodwill. So I've seen stuff that was like broken electronics in their cases, selling for a lot of money. And I'm like, pieces of it missing. And I'm like, no. Anyway. SoCal. I've only been to Northern Cal. I went to the Gorge one year to see Dave Matthews Band. It's like one of my highlights of my life. It was so freaking awesome. Because Dave Matthews, I played number 41 earlier, and I saw him play that at the Gorge, and it was about a 41 minute jam in the middle of number 41. I mean, it's like, this show was made for me. That was a show where me and my buddy were going. We always do the same thing. We're like, okay, what's the 5 songs you want to hear at the show this time? And my 5, he played 4 of my 5 in the first 5 songs. And so I was like, this show is for me. He knew I was coming. Salvation Army, yeah. We have one Salvation Army, and I used to not go to it because Goodwill is better, but I probably need to visit it again because it might be okay. We have a DAV here. I don't know if you guys got those, and it's Disabled American Veterans. And their prices are basically double at any thrift stores or place like that. So I never go in there either. I've seen him 15 to 20 times. I can't remember now. It's too much smoking back in the day. At least 15, so not more than 20. It was great every time. I never had a bad show. That's another thing. That's why people keep going to his shows, because it's always freaking good. In a way, I wish I wouldn't have done that, because I've not watched a lot of bands that I probably would have watched, because I almost follow him, spend all my money on going to his shows. I still haven't seen Pearl Jam, which I was real close to going one year, and it was right when the pandemic hit, and so that was a bad deal. One year I was going to go see Tom Petty, and Willie Nelson was playing the same night. Willie Nelson was Kansas City, and Tom Petty was St. Louis. And I couldn't decide. I'm like, well, shit, I need to go see Willie Nelson because he's not going to live as long. Freaking everybody knows Tom Petty, he died like 2 months later. And Willie Nelson, that concert, it rained so hard right after Dwight Yoakam opened up. And it was like an hour and a half delay, standing in the rain with the girl I was there with, and just waiting for it to get over. And when it finally stopped, they're like, we're canceling the show. We're going to, we'll refund your money, or we'll have a return concert and you get your tickets back. I'm like, oh my God. So I didn't even get to see either one of them. It was freaking awful. Tom Petty would have been awesome. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, I guess. Eric Clapton. He's all right. I'm not a huge fan, but he's pretty good. Which is weird because I'm a guitarist. I don't really like his style. Layla, I love the end of Layla. I don't like any singing, but I love the instrumental at the very end. I'd like to see Paul McCartney, but his tickets are like freaking ridiculous to go see Paul McCartney. So I've always kind of skipped it. Maybe one day when we get this shit back, and I'm so sick of this crap. I went to the coffee shop the other day. Wasn't even talking to anybody. Just being around people felt good. Because I mow, I'm at home, I run, do my exercise, go to get lessons and stuff, but I'm just not around a lot of people. But I'm a people person, and this whole thing has sucked. I mean, I understand why, but Billy Strings, yeah, he's freaking awesome. That dude. And I'm learning some bluegrass on the guitar too. This is a lot of fun. I like it. I like picking. I don't like strumming, anymore. playing chords is a little too easy. Yeah, Billy String's badass. No one beats Tony Rice, though. Too bad he passed away. I mean, Eric Clapton's great. It just, I was more of the Prince more than Eric Clapton for some reason. Maybe it's because Eric Clapton is just not showboating, which is good on him. But yeah, I know what you mean, Tracy. And I'm a people. I was a bartender. I was so good at bartending. I had regulars wrapped around my bar. People were waiting to sit down with me, and I had 17 spots, and it was hard to quit because I knew I would miss it. And man, I didn't realize how much I'd miss just talking to people. It wasn't the job, wasn't making drinks. I enjoyed making drinks for people because they appreciated it. I had these one guys that there was this bunch of old guys that were part of the Shriners, and they would all come in on Saturday mornings to get away from their wives, and come in about 10:30, and they, of course, drink. They're old school, so they drink vodka water. It was either vodka water or vodka tonics or vodka and soda, and I knew how every one of them wanted it. I knew which kind of vodka they wanted. Most of them just didn't care. They wanted well vodka and tall glasses, how many limes they wanted or no limes, olives or no olives. I knew exactly what all of them wanted, and I could see them coming in. So I just had the bottles waiting there, waiting for them to come, pouring a drink, be at the end of the bar, and they wouldn't even sit with me. They would sit in a cocktail table, but they'd always tip me, and I had the drink ready for them to pick up. They'd walk to the table, and it was a lot of fun to have all those regulars that wanted to hang out with you, and I remember going through Europe and stuff. Like, you realized, I knew I was a good bartender, but then when you go all over the world, I went over the East Coast. I love to go on vacation, which I haven't done in like 5 years. I was one of the best bartenders I'd been around. Like, I was just good at it. And to be able to do the work and still talk and still hold a conversation, and I could somehow, some way get people to talk about what they want to talk about and then add to it. And I was just good at that. Some bartenders are just terrible. I mean, it's just awful. It's hard to find a bartender that you can actually you want to talk with. And the only ones I found that were better than me or on the same plane were the ones on the East Coast. When I went to Annapolis, Maryland, there was 3 Irish pubs there, and these guys were guys that have done it for 20 years, and they were on par with me. But I do miss it. I've even thought about telling my old manager, hey, if you need some on-call, someone to come in, if you're in a pinch, I'll come in and chit chat with people, yeah. Anyway, talk. See, I just like talking. I understand. Yep. I made a lot of people love my martinis because I would shake the shit out of them when, not on the rocks. I'd shake them so good so there'd be little ice shivers everywhere in them, and they love that, And of course, it made it way colder too, and you shook it really good, and blend the olive juice in there. And yeah, I was good at it, but 9 years of doing it too, you better be freaking good at it, right? And it was easy at Cheddar's because the food was so good and cheap. People could order drinks and were happy because they had good food. You go to some of these places, it's a bar, and the food's so shitty. Yeah. That's what I still mow for my GM, and I power wash for him. And I've thought about telling him, hey, if you need somebody on call, even around Christmas and Thanksgiving, if I'm not with my family, I'll work it. Um, I used to try to work as much as I could in holidays because I made so much money. People almost feel bad for you for working. I made $200 a shift pretty much all the time, and that was 2014 and before, for like 9 years. So I'm sure I'd make $300 now. Well, if we were still full people going out and stuff, which God, I hope we can get to that freaking soon. I don't want to talk about that crap on here, but me and Harry kind of line up on that kind of stuff. Well, I should probably do something today other than talk to my computer. I guess I did run. I need to take my dogs out. Actually list some freaking things. I'm turning 45 this October, so it feels good to go out there and still be able to run a 25-minute 5K and not feel old because I can do that. I couldn't do that when I was 25. So out of shape back then. Smoking cigarettes and eating cheeseburgers. It's hard to. I saw that one day. People were like, I saw some meme where it was like, I don't work out to live longer. I work out because I want to look hot as when I'm having sex. Facts, right? This was the metal, the Fast and the Furious. It was for dogs. They had dogs running with us. It's pretty funny. I don't know why they get these big freaking medals out. Wish they would just. It's one of those things. It's like it's for a rescue who needs all this cash donations to survive, and they're giving us these medals that cost $10 a piece at least that no one really wants. Like, what am I going to do with it? I mean, this thing's heavy. Like, what am I going to do with this? Just save the money and give it to the frickin' dogs. Dumb. But Tracy, you guys going on tonight, right? Do you guys have anybody on? I think I watched for a minute last week because you had John on, but I was freaking exhausted. I had to go to bed early. I'm freaking old. But yeah, I mean, I love you guys' show. I'm surprised Tommy wasn't in here bantering. Ooh, what did I sell? Oh, sold the Beyblades. Nice. $80. Hells yeah. Get that freaking thing out of here. It's a big old package of Beyblades. God. It's a good deal. I made some money on it, but it's sat there for freaking almost a year. Ugh. Oh, right on. It was a roast. What was it, Drew? Or what's his name? The New York guy. I forget names. Jeez. Huh. Inside, huh? Right on. Yakov, yeah. I like him. He's nice. He's funny. I saw one with him and his sister. It was really hilarious. She was like grilling him bad. It's always fun when John's on your guys' channel because he opens up how he really is. That's pretty cool. What did he say? There was something. What was it? Oh, when Harry had his live and he was doing his top 10 things, his what do you call them? Quickie top 10s. And he did one on like the most embarrassing things. And his number one was getting caught masturbating. And John, what did John put? Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, or something like that. It was hilarious. And you can tell that, it's kind of like Kevin Commonwealth Picker. That's one thing I wish he had a channel where he talked about how he was really himself, because you can tell he holds back a lot because he has a lot of people on his, the people that watch Kevin are usually pretty uptight, and so he can't really say much other than facts of what's going on. And so it's kind of nice to see him. He used to come in your guys' live, but he doesn't do that as much anymore. But I'm glad Lonnie's putting out what sold videos. For some reason, I don't really like what sold videos, even though I do them. But I like Lonnie's. I don't know why. I like hearing talk. I think we're the same age and stuff too. I don't know. Yeah, people got to get over themselves. Man, I love making fun of myself. I think it keeps me humble, I guess. I don't know. Like, if we can't make fun of ourselves, too many people, I think that's one of the problems with life right now. Everybody wants to be right. F being right. There is no damn right. It's just who you ask. Damn politics and who cares about being right? It's stupid. I like being wrong. I'm always wrong. I don't care. If you think you're right, you never grow. You just want to go around telling people they're wrong instead of working on what you need to work on or whatever. I think that's crazy. I haven't watched the news since June 2020, except there was 1 week, the week before the elections. I watched then just because it's the elections. I felt like I started watching. I go, this is what we get. Crap. It's just awful. I will say one thing. I watch Joe Rogan. I don't agree with everything he says, but I can still watch someone that I don't agree with everything they say. It doesn't have to be 100%. You know what I mean? And when CNN came out with all that crap, oh my God, I was so pissed because, and I only heard about it because even my family members were talking about how, can you believe this? I'm like, it's wrong. They're lying. That's not what happened. And what happened to journalism when they actually, instead of just listening to one person, they put up a big story in front of everybody, and then instead of like actually making sure you not just talk to one person, but like about the people that there was involved with, you might want to talk to the hospital that they're talking about instead of that one guy that says he works there. What the hell has happened to journalism? It's freaking insane. It's just, this is why I don't watch the news anymore. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. And I don't agree with everything Joe Rogan says, but they made that stupid, saying that he took horse dewormer. No, he can afford a better doctor than anybody that was talking about it. And you think his doctor prescribed horse dewormer? Idiots. Let alone saying that. I remember looking that up. They were saying that people that I have a friend that's a nurse in the ER here in Springfield, so I know how it works. Like, they were like, yeah, people that have gunshot wounds are getting turned away at the ER. What? That would never happen. They always go on what's the most important. It's always been that way. They're not going to change it. Like, what are you talking about? And I looked it up, and it's not true. They never turned away one person. They never had anybody had overdosed on ivermectin. I looked up overdose ivermectin. You know what happens when you overdose on ivermectin? You get nausea and you get dizzy. You don't die. And I looked it up. There was been one case in like New Mexico. I hate the news. Damn, you came late. Yeah, I'm glad I don't know what the hell's going on in the world. It's all a bunch of crap. Yeah, it's been around for 40 years, and the guy that made it won the Nobel Prize in 2015. It's cured river blindness in Africa. It's good, but the problem is it's been around so long the patents wore off, and anybody can make it, and it doesn't cost anything. So we wouldn't want to do that, right? Listen, you and Chris, um, he watches Daily Refinement. I was talking about that earlier. And that's another thing too. I can listen to YouTubers that I don't completely agree with everything, but I also know it's because they're not really talking about the same thing I am. You know what I mean? But I also don't want to get burned out. I enjoy reselling. I don't want to. I'd rather do other things and resell, even though that's still hard. But anyway, I get off my little soapbox of not watching the news and why. uh, uh, it's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. Yeah, I know. I don't know how that is. Did you see when he showed his store the other day and he had stuff selling for 1 penny? Like 1 penny? And he was like, "Well, I just want to make the algorithm go good." I'm like, still seems like you can get screwed if they run return it and you're not making any money on it. But I guess I thought about that before. Put a lot of things on auction because your sell-through rate's going to be pretty good if you put it on auction, 99 cents, right? But I don't make any money on auctions because people forget about them. But yeah, he's cleared $1 million this year, I think already in sales. Uh, that's freaking awesome. Um, maybe one day I'll want to do that much. I don't, I would have to do what he does and have someone taking pictures for me. I got burned out trying to have people work with me mowing yards. It's so, I mean, having people work for you, oh my God. Then they find out the money you're making and they don't figure in taxes and they just think you're taking all that money home and buying freaking Cavassier and sports cars or something. Like, is I don't know if I can. I got burned out on that. People just expect. I remember I paid a buddy $15 an hour cash in 2017, and he acted like I was screwing him over. This is back, when minimum, most people were making less than $10 an hour unless you were like a specific really good job. I was paying him good money, and he acted like I was screwing him over because I told him about how much money I made on some yards, and I'm like, dude, I have to buy a mower, I have to pay for all the gas, I have to use my truck, I have to pay taxes on it. What are you talking about? Like, it burned me out where I'm like, I don't, because even if you have a good employee, they're going to end up moving on because what are they going to? I can't pay them enough to keep them around. I did learn that with one of my buddies said you have to make them part of your business where they get something back on if it does sell. And I'm like, you're right, but I don't know how you do that. Make them like get some revenue sharing or whatever. But I don't know. That's why it'd be good to have kids. Is you use them as cheap labor. Take these pictures now. I'm actually thinking about one thing I'm going to do is I have a bunch of gaming consoles that I've been using to test stuff, but I barely find video games anymore because I used to find them at garage sales. That was like the thing everybody does now. Every time I go to one, I'm like, oh, I saw you had some gaming stuff in your listing. Like, oh, that sold. It was the first thing we sold. It's like every time I go to somewhere, it's like there's these guys that are just freaking tweaked out, going around buying up all the video stuff before I can ever get there. And so I never find that stuff anymore. And Goodwill doesn't have it anymore. So I'm gonna sell off all my old, like my N64 and all my gaming consoles because most of the time when it comes to cartridges, they always pretty much work. I just use a Q-tip and clean it. They work. And then the discs, you can pretty much tell by looking at the disc if it's going to work or not. So I may just sell that stuff in my booth, and I don't know. I just kind of want to sell it all and get rid of it. I'm kind of sick of it. I don't play any of that stuff. God, playing video games is like watching Netflix. Netflix, man, I talk about a rabbit hole. Holy crap. No kids. Yeah, that's probably true. You'd have to have an awesome kid that would. How, before I get off here, how's your son doing with the MMA? Is he still loving it? And I can't imagine the kind of training it would take to do that. I mean, that's crazy. I knew a guy that was in the UFC, and he went on that show where they do the show, and if you win, you go on to UFC or whatever. I forget the name of it. It's been over a decade, but he got second, Michael Johnson, and he was awesome. He wasn't as big as you'd think it'd be, but man, kind of training he did, holy shit, he was a badass. But I just can't imagine, because that training, you're actually thinking about your own life. And so you'd almost want to train. It would make you train more because you're worried about your life. Well, that's great that he still loves it. Losing streak. Yeah, well, it is weird to think like you're on a losing streak. You think that way, but like, you could beat up 99% of Americans, I've taken some jujitsu classes. I want to take some of that stuff. That's one of my goals. I want to do is do some kind of martial arts. I've always wanted to do it, but I never have. But all right, I'm getting off here. But thanks to everybody that gave me some entertainment, kept me enthused for a minute. And thanks for everybody that can stand to listen to my shoddy guitar work and talking. But hopefully Harry goes live tonight. If you're not going live, I think he's on call. I think he's on call, so he doesn't usually like to go live because he likes to drink while he goes live. So if he can't drink because he knows he has to go, he doesn't usually, which I understand. I appreciate it, Tracy. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Grind on, friends.